Hey friends, and welcome back. It is late September and that means our 2023 garden is coming to an end. But this is also the most exciting time because this is when so much of our produce that we've been working since February on is finally starting to become ripe and get ready. Now, I've been out of town away on a work conference for a week and Sam's been holding down the fort, so I have not seen the garden. I want to take you with me and let's go do a quick garden tour, see what the status is, see how everything is looking. Sam always does an amazing job at keeping an eye on everything and just keeping everything moving, so I know everything's going to be great, but let's go see what great surprises have been growing over the past week. And it looks like our little kitten Cowgirl is coming with us too, if you can hear her. All right, friends, it is a little breezy out, so if you can hear the wind, I'm very sorry, but I wanted to be able to take you out on my first time seeing it so that we could do this together. So, first thing right when you come into the garden, if you remember, we have our watermelons. So I don't know if you can see this giant watermelon right here, but we have 9 watermelons growing in here in total, and they are pretty much done, I believe. I know the trick is when they show, this isn't a good example because it's our big one, but when they show a buttery yellow bottom, that is traditionally how you know when they're done, and when the little tendril closes to the watermelon starts to curl, or starts to die off. So a lot of ours are dead and the bottoms are a butter colored yellow. So let me try to show you an example, but I am so excited about these. I've never been able to successfully grow a watermelon in Wyoming. Our climate is not great for watermelon, but I would take this as a huge win. So let me show you an example of one that I think is done. Okay, so here I think is a perfect example. See how yellow that underside looks? I think this one is totally done. So I'm gonna leave these for today, but we will definitely be cutting into these very soon. Then as we move down further, we have a bunch of cantaloupe. So I have about 15 cantaloupe and they are all this size. I'm not hopeful they're gonna make it, but I do have this one and it is looking really good and starting to smell sweet. So I think we might get 1 cantaloupe. Unfortunately, I think they're just a little bit too late this season, but that is a-okay. All right, next, if you remember, these are our cucumbers, and I had a feeling that these were gonna get out of control, and I was correct. That's what happens when you leave cucumbers for a week. So these are supposed to just be little tiny pickling cucumbers, and we have a lot of pretty large cucumbers. These now will not be used for pickling. So what I'm gonna do, and what I tend to do with these really big cucumbers, is I will cut into them and give them a taste and see if they're really bitter. A lot of times when they get this big, when they're supposed to be small, they turn really bitter. So I like to just give them a taste. If they're bitter, I will give them to the pigs, and they have no care in the world about a bitter cucumber. If they are not bitter, then we will go ahead and eat them. So I'm not gonna give these to the chickens or the pigs until I taste test them, but I can see right here probably about 20 or so cucumbers that are all this size. So we'll taste test them, see if they're any good, and if not, the chickens and the pigs will definitely be getting a little treat. All right, let's keep moving along. All right, and right next to our cucumbers, we have acorn squash. It's like a little Easter egg hunt for you to try to find everything. These are probably our smallest too, but this is actually my first year growing acorn squash, so I honestly I feel like these look a little small, but I don't know how to know when an acorn squash is ready. So just like everyone, every year we are learning something new, and so I'm gonna have to research it, or if you could let me know down below in the comments how to know when an acorn squash is ready, that would be great. I've grown butternut, spaghetti, pumpkin, all of that, but I have never grown an acorn squash. So if you could let me know if you know how to tell if an acorn squash is ready, that would be greatly appreciated. But I think these are a little small. I don't know if they'll make it, but I'm gonna leave them out as long as I possibly can, and we will see. All right, you guys, this is one area of the garden I am so excited about. It's our little mini pumpkin patch. I counted, we have 19 pumpkins currently. I don't even know how many plants I planted. I think I planted 2 plants. And we have some blue pumpkins that are growing over there. I don't remember planting those, so that's what, woo! So that's been a fun surprise. I do remember planting the orange ones, and we have 19 of them. So one thing that I absolutely love about pumpkins is they are a natural dewormer for animals. So we like to carve them and use them as decoration. Obviously eat a lot of them, but 19 pumpkins for 2 of us isn't super realistic. That's a couple years worth. So what I like to do is once we're done with them, the seeds are a great dewormer. So we will feed them to our animals, our pigs, our chickens, and our goats, and it will act as a dewormer. So I think that's so stinking cool that I am able to, one, get joy out of this. We're able to use it as decoration. We get to use it as entertainment for carving, and we get to use it as food and a dewormer for our animals. I think that is so stinking cool. It just makes me so happy. I absolutely love it. This is my first year ever successfully getting pumpkins. Usually our season is too short and we don't get them. So I feel so blessed this year to have 19 pumpkins. Who would have thought, right? All right, enough of me ranting and raving about my pumpkins that I am so excited about. Let's jump over and take a look at, let's move to the peppers. All right, friends, when it comes to peppers, we have some serious work ahead of us. I have 22 pepper plants. Sometimes I don't know how I got so many. I think I get excited and I just keep planting and planting and planting. Obviously, when I start seeds, I start a ton of them, and then I think I get a little excited and plant a lot. So I have 22 pepper plants for 2 of us. I have cayenne, I have green chili, I have bell peppers here, I have poblanos, and I have jalapenos as well. So we have already done a little bit of preservation with peppers, but we have a lot more to do. So I see a ton of work in our future here when it comes to these peppers. We love pickled jalapenos, we love stuffed poblanos, we love stuffed jalapeno, like popper type things. And I'm excited to see what else I can come up with. Salsa. I'm really excited to see what else we can come up with to use all of these peppers. But I feel so blessed to have all 22 plants of these peppers thriving, and we started like 90% of these from seeds. So I think that is a huge accomplishment, and I'm super, super excited about that. We still have some plants that have flowers on them, which is a little bit shocking. I wouldn't expect to see that, especially this late. It's been getting down to about 40 degrees at night, so it's been chilly, and I think these plants are starting to get the little boost they need to know that it's time to wrap it up. So I am a little surprised by these flowers, but that's all right. I like their perseverance. Next we move into our okra. You can see there is absolutely no shortage of okra this year. We've gotten almost a gallon of it so far. All right, friends, this might be the one thing I am most excited for. I have never been able to grow sweet corn. I always am fine with popcorn, but sweet corn has never done well in my garden. And as you can see, this corn is taller than me, and I am 6 feet tall. So this is like a 7-8 foot stalk of corn. We have a ton of ears on them. I don't think they're quite ready yet, but I am so stinking proud of all of this corn. Can you believe how tall it is? And the fact that it's finally coming on and we're actually getting ears. I am so excited. Sweet corn is one of my favorite things in the world. I usually get it from our neighbor, but this year I'm able to grow it myself. So I will definitely keep you updated on our corn, and fingers crossed we can get at least an ear to harvest. So I am so proud of this. We probably have about 40 or so plants, so assuming this all goes well, we could be eating very, very well. All right, now we are in the beets, and I planted a ton of beets. And the funny part about beets is, hi girl, They look so innocent until you look in there. Because the greens are so big, they really hide how large the beet has gotten. So every time I go and dig in there, I'm always blown away at just how big they have gotten. All right, the beets are there. Then right next to the beets, we have our beans, and I am drying these beans, so I'm just letting them die on the plant. We have kidney beans, black beans, and cannellini beans. So this whole section is all of those, and we must have had a plant explode because I did find some beans on the ground. So that's exciting to see those worked out well. Now let's turn around and we're gonna go look at the green beans and tomatoes. So we have our green beans here, and this year has definitely been a bumper crop of green beans. We have gotten so many I can't even explain. You can see on these plants we are still actively getting amazing looking green beans, so I need to get out here and get all of these harvested. But this has definitely been the year for green beans. There's like at least 100 green beans on this plant. It's crazy, but we are so lucky, and luckily we really like green beans and they go well all year round. They freeze really well, so we've got a good thing going here. Then right next to that we have our carrots growing. You can see the little tops, they're intermingled with a lot of weeds, but they are doing great. Then from here all the way down is tomatoes and tomatillos. So we still have a lot of green tomatoes. If you look at any of these, you can see these are some full plants, but I'm not super worried about it. I think we'll still have enough time for a lot of these to turn red, and luckily we can pull in green tomatoes and we can have them ripen in the house. So I'm not super worried about it. They have been absolutely amazing. And another thing that's really taken off this year that I wasn't expecting is our tomatillos. While I was gone, got a little out of hand, but they have been crazy hard to keep up with. We've been getting so many of them. They've been really great. So I've just been freezing these, and we're gonna make some green salsa with them later down the road. And then after this little patch of tomatillos, we jump back into a ton of our cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, and regular slicing tomatoes. So they are looking beautiful. All right, then we just have our raspberries, our grapes, our trees, our strawberries in here. As you can see, I need to get in here and do a lot of weeding, but these are all pretty much done for the season, so I've just been kind of letting them rest. The winter is also really good at getting rid of weeds, so we'll see what we end up doing here. I do know I am going to plant some garlic in here pretty soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And I think that's about it. We still have some parsley behind me, but for the herbs, that is the rest of it. Done for the season. So thank you so much for coming along on this garden tour with me. I hope you enjoyed. As you can tell, we have a ton of preservation coming up that I will be gladly taking you along with me on. And if you liked today's video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, friends.